GNPX with this type of setup. It broke over the descending resistance line. It's popped up a little bit. So let's see what it does here right now. It's 1780 by 1820. ATOS is at 4, high of 408. ATOS, I'll put an order at 4, maybe 420. And GNPX, I'll put an order at 18. So GNPX would be a possible entry at 18, target 1850. ATOS, possible entry around 4, 410, 450. Have to be kind of quick, probably initially, until it shows real staying power. So there's the bell. Watching them both. No fill on ATOS at 15, so just watch that. GNPX is dropping. The high on ATOS is continuing a little bit. GNPX, the high of the first candle is 1785. I'm long ATOS at 420. There's a little 1 minute breakout there. I want to see it get above 425. My stop would be $4.
ATOS.
So there's 26, 29. You can see, I'll put this up on ATOS. I mean, you can see it's definitely the first green candle in a while, but it's hitting the 50 moving average there. So it seems just a little sluggish. But right now in range, so I'll keep holding it unless it breaks 4, or looks like it's going to. GNPX, green move, it looks maybe like it's going to just dip down too much. So ATOS over 430. See if we get a little continuation on that. If it breaks 430, 440, then it's got room up towards 5. No, I haven't sold half of ATOS.
ATOS.
All right, there. I just sold half. GNPX, red to green move. Big spread still. Sold the rest of ATOS, only $240. GNPX. You can see the red to green move on that one. From 1735 up to 1922. GMPX right now, spread is 1826 by 1870. It's a big spread, 50-cent spread there. So, this is one where I just don't have the profit cushion to take the risk on that type of spread. HEAR, I would leave alone. It's been really choppy the last few days. High of the last 1 minute candle on GNPX is 1910. The low is 1817. So that's a 1 minute, $1 candle in terms of top to bottom. And then there you're back down to 1767. So ATOS. This is where you see it, how it tapped that 50 moving average almost to the penny and pulled back. It doesn't mean it can't continue higher, but every time it hits one of those moving averages, it's going to slow down a little bit. So it's like tap, pull back, tap, pull back. This right here is consolidation, 1 minute pullback. But you don't like to see it break the bottom. Wouldn't want to see it break below $4. Fitbit, I can't tell. It's just got light volume. I don't see anything there that I really like.
CVM. MYND. MYND. MYND.
So GNPX broke through the lows. ATOS doing the same.
VKTXW, VKTXW. CVM.
EKSO is a 59 million share float, a little on the higher side. Breaking over the 200 moving average, which is good, but not sure about that one with the float being that high. CRK, this energy stock. Nice move there from 690 up to 730. Kind of rebounding a little on the daily.
EYPT, 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 EYPT. DNJR.
IFON has a similar kind of struggle on the daily where, yeah, you got a 1 minute pullback here. The high is 454. So there's a possibility, but it's stayed, has room up to $5 basically right now. High of that candle there is 454. The low is 440. So that's your setup. First 1 minute candle to make a new high would be over 454. Anticipating it would be over 450, the half dollar. Volume is kind of light. Did it hit the scanners? Maybe not. PIRS, yeah, 41 million share float. IFON, if it had broken over 50 and 54, I'd go for it, but here we are back down. So this 1 minute micro pullback didn't resolve. No entry, no trade. A little bit of a slow open this morning. There, yesterday's high was 134. High of that pop there is 131. You can see just looking at the level 2 that it's a more thickly traded stock. Three market makers at 29, 6 at 30. Staff doesn't have really any volume, only 10,000 shares. ATOS is under the VWAP right now. Some traders would get in at 410 for a scalp, but I don't think I would because it hit the daily resistance almost to the penny and then faded. EBIO I've looked at 20 million share float. What I don't like on this one really is the daily chart is getting so extended. I think it's due for a pullback, consolidation, and then maybe a breakout from that point. SPHS, continuation, but not looking the cleanest. MYND is a daily breakout setup. High there would be 237. It's at 218 right now.
NVIV.
There's a 20,000 share bid at 218. So right now, stock a little bit, watch, keep an eye on. MYND, if it curled back up, a little bit of a bigger seller there on that red candle. IFON, it's set up maybe.
BWP. Check. JSYNW. BWP. Check. BWP. 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 BWP.
BWP, I don't know if there's news out on that. It's a kind of big spike. 1317 is the 250 million share float.
JSYNW.
High is 1249.
BWP. 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 BWP.
When a stock pops up this much,
BWP.
and as it approaches $13, kind of have to think that there's going to be some selling pressure.
CLDC. CLDC. CLDC.
Yeah, I see Dare. So about 8-cent breakout off of the high a day. That's the thing for me, 8 cents just isn't quite enough. MYND is still worth watching. High of the last 5 minutes is 228. IFON is also worth keeping an eye on. Spreads are a little bigger. Those are the two that I'm watching right now. I've got both level 2s up. Okay, I'm long MYND. Long MYND there. You can see how it just popped up. So I'm long MYND for the first 5-minute candle to make a new high. This one has a nice daily chart. So you want to see a break over the $0.50, continuation. Pop up over 250.
ASNS, ASNS, ASNS,
High is exactly at the $0.50, 250. So on this type of stock, you've got room right now. I guess 372 is the first resistance point. IFON still sort of hanging out.
ASNS.
Interesting that that big bid moved up to 225 on MYND.
PRPLW.
Yeah, I see IFON, and it's a possibility. You know, it's over 55. It's interesting. I don't know if it's going to hold up well. MYND obviously just is pretty much done a false breakout. I'm seeing if it'll come back up into the 40s or 50s, but yeah, it's a little tricky today. IFON, I think like any of these, you just have to be kind of quick. If it did break over the $0.50 and then 55, you'd be selling half at 65, trying to take profit quickly because it might not hold up. D, we'll see if it gets back up towards the 40s. IFON, just consolidating here under this $0.50. You know, it's just like I said, one of those ones that if it pops up, maybe it will get up to 60, 70, 80, but you just have to be quick on it. Next level of resistance is $5. Spreads are a little bigger. Not seeing really good follow through today. Five-minute setup on CRK. Yeah, that's not bad. High of the last 5-minute candles, 718. High of the move was 734. CHK does have a little bit of a higher float. Or sorry, CRK. 14 million shares, actually, it's not that high. Scott, we're looking at
STLRW.
early May, so not tomorrow, but hopefully next week or the week after. All right, let's see. All right, everyone. So we're going to do a short midday market recap, finishing the month here of April up $55,148.80. All in all, it's been
NSPR.
an awesome month. Second best month of the year. January was the best at 117,000. Last month was 42,000, which is good. And here we are, 55,000 for April. So I'm excited about that. Love for you guys to tell me how you did this month. Hopefully you were able to put away some profits. We had some amazing trades at the beginning of the month. The beginning of the month was just incredible. It was massive follow through, big green days, day after day after day. Second day of the month, first day of the month I made 11,000. Second day I made 14,000. So it was like, just a huge 25,000 start to the month in 2 days. I mean, that's what you love to have happen. It just puts you in the driver's seat right away. And if you decide you want to be a little, and I pushed it a little bit. I got myself all the way up 75,000 on the month, and then gave back a little bit of profit, trying to roll those winners into $100,000 month. But all in all, 55,000 is fantastic, and I'm really excited about that. So right now, as we end April, we have to start thinking about what are we going to do in the month of May. And I think for me, the month of May is going to be, at least initially, focusing on getting really good quality entries. Because when you get a good quality entry, regardless of your share size, you put yourself in a position of confidence. Now, today, I started that effort with a couple of trades. ATOS, this one was a pre-market setup. It was a gap and go setup. I was watching it over the pre-market high of 410, and I got in during this consolidation here. If I break this down into a 10-second chart, you'll be able to see my entry. So here we had some consolidation right in this area, a high of 25 and a pullback. I got in anticipating the break of 20 right here, the first 1-minute candle to make a new high, breaking over high a day. I put my order on this one at let's see, my order I put at 225 or 425, and I got filled at the top of the order exactly at 425. So that was kind of a bummer because it wasn't a good fill. So in at 425, and I sold it at 430, 434, and 426. So only made 240 bucks on it. Didn't take big size. Just took a little small trade, small winner. But the setup was decent there. Anticipating the opening range breakout and getting in there for a move higher. The problem, and I knew this was going to be a problem on this one, is that the daily chart just wasn't really strong. And what we ended up doing is tapping the 20 moving average almost to the penny. You see tough when you run into those resistance points because they just really slow down the momentum. So that was ATOS, and then MYND. I jumped in this one for a 5-minute flag breakout. As you can see here, it was consolidating. I got in for the first candle to make a new high right there. Popped up to a high of 50, but as you can see, it was a false breakout. It didn't hold those levels. There's a $60 loss on it, but the entry was okay and the setup was decent. It just we didn't have follow through. So all in all, I'm happy with today. And it's not obviously a big green day. Not finishing the month with a big green day. That's whatever. But it's been a great month, and you gotta keep things in perspective. So one of the things I talked about earlier today, and I'll say it again for those of you guys on Facebook and YouTube watching the recaps. And again, if you're on Facebook, you're on YouTube, love for you guys to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, throw in comments. I'll come back through and answer them later this afternoon. I go through and answer each one of them personally. So love for you guys to give me some questions to answer in my afternoon, so I can make good use of my time sitting on the couch. But one of the things I said this morning is that it's so funny with trading when things start to get slow. Obviously, momentum really slowed down in the second half of April. We had incredible momentum in the first 2 months, first 2 weeks. 2.5 weeks, I made $75,000. And then in the last week and a half, I've lost about, $20,000, $25,000. And, that's fine. It's 3 steps forward, 1 step back. I'm okay with that. I don't mind that. But it's just interesting how quickly the tide changed. And so I was thinking this weekend about, driving race Vegas, which, you guys know I sometimes do, and how if I'm trying to set my my best lap time, I'm pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, trying to get the best lap time because I want to get around that track faster than Jeff. And he's in a faster car, so I've really got my work cut out for me. And I'm just pushing as hard as I can, but then just imagine it starts to drizzle. It starts to sprinkle a little bit. The track gets wet, and I'm saying, no, forget. I'm still pushing 100%. I'm going as hard as I can, and guess what's going to happen? I'm going to start to lose control. I'm going to start to slide around, and I'm not going to be able to set my best track time, my best lap time, when the track is wet. It's just not going to happen. So it starts sprinkling, and I got to slow down. It starts pouring rain, and I got to slow down. Well, with trading, why am I not able to see the rain on the windshield, right? Why am I not able to adapt, or why do I choose to keep pushing it? Why do I choose to be so aggressive in spite of conditions not being really that great? And that's something that I just don't know. I think that something that I need to work on is being more patient and being more cognizant of the market that I'm in, because I have this tendency to be really aggressive and, like I said, just try to, really get my best lap time regardless of the weather. I'm in such a tunnel vision of trying to get my best time, trying to have my best month, that instead of adapting to the market, I'm just so focused on that goal that it gets me into trouble. Because realistically, the last 2 weeks, I could have maybe even made money if I had slowed down. So, it's one of those things. Having the best time around the track isn't the person who, is gunning it down every one of the straightaways. I mean, it's the person who's in control, who's able to get out of those corners the fastest, who's able to hold the fastest line. One of the things they say about race car driving is that there is a fastest line around the track. It's how you come into the corners, how you go out of them, how you handle the turns. There's a fastest line that will get you around that track, and you want to be on that line as close as you can. And so sometimes you have to go a little slower to stay on the line. If you go too fast, you're going to swing out off the line, you're going to get a little out of control, and you're not going to have your best time. So it feels counterintuitive sometimes to slow down, but sometimes that's exactly what you need to do to have the best time. And this month, if I had slowed down a little bit in the second week and in the third week, or the third and the fourth week, I probably would have done a lot better, because I would have not, had those big losses that were the result of me being so aggressive on, really kind of in choppy markets. So, the action that we saw today on MYND, this is the rain on the track. The water's on the track when you see this type of action. It's choppy. These are false breakouts.
MYNDW.
Look at CRK. I didn't trade this one, but this is the rain on the track. This is the false breakout. It pops up and drops back down. It doesn't hold up. So, I think the challenge, and this is maybe the hardest part, is that when you're driving on a track that's got water on it, I think we can all just understand that analogy. You can see the track is still wet, and it's got to dry, and it's going to take a couple hours, whatever, to dry or whatever it is. But with trading, what's tough is that you can see choppy markets, and then next thing you know, you see a stock like CHEK go from 850 to 1150, and you're like, what the heck? This makes no sense, right? All of a sudden, this one takes off. Or all of a sudden, GNPX does a red to green move the way we were kind of talking about this morning, and it goes from 1750 to 1950. And so that's, I think, what creates a little bit more of the impatience, is that you never know when one is all of a sudden going to take off. And I guess what I would say on this is that you're never going to catch usually the first stock at the beginning of a hot streak, because the first stock kind of catches everyone off guard. It surprises short sellers who get squeezed out. It surprises long base sellers because all of a sudden it's like, whoa, I wasn't expecting momentum, and here we go. The stock just went from $10 to $15 or whatever it is. And then that can start the next round of momentum. Now, I thought that we might see a little more sympathy momentum from the move on GNPX last week from $8 to $18, and we really didn't. This was just sort of like one isolated move, and we didn't see sympathy really carry over into other stocks, which was maybe a little surprising. But in any case, I think you just have to have this attitude of, I'm going to take, when the market is a little bit choppy, and I'm going to understand that the market is choppy based on the type of gap seeing to the gap and go trades, and based on the follow through we're seeing on stocks that hit the scanners. When a stock like MYND hits our high day momentum scanner, typically it takes off, and it goes from $1.40 to $2.43 or whatever it was. It goes up to $3.50 or $2.50, $2.55, $2.60, and it continues higher. So when you're seeing stocks hit the scanner and nothing happens, nobody's buying them, you can tell that the excitement is just sort of subdued. I wish there was a way of, and maybe think of this, giving you guys this kind of indicator, this hot, strong indicator, where you could just see it on your right on your screen. The market's hot right now. See stocks like LEDS pop up, and then you see CHFS pop up, and every stock that hits the scanner pops up, gets halted, runs up 30-40%. Those are the days to be aggressive. But days where you're seeing stocks pop up and fade like this, these are the days to slow down. So we need to come up with some type of red light, green light indicator that gauges the strength of the market, so you can see the rain on the windshield. And you can see, look, all right, guys, this is not a day for me to be aggressive. The last 4 stocks that popped up just got slammed back down. Or, hey, this is a day that we got to dig deep and stick it out a little longer, because this is a day where we might take 6 trades and make $3,000 on it, on every single one of them. So, it's just something that I just thought of right now in terms of that indicator. It doesn't exist, but, just in general, having that presence of mind of what's the market like right now, and not getting so tunnel vision on, I got to achieve this goal. Because I started to have this goal of making $100,000 this month, and it ended up costing me some of my gains because I was being so aggressive. And that's tunnel vision. That's
BLNKW.
You got to trade with the market. The market will give you great months, and then it's going to take it right back if you're not careful. So going into the month of May, my focus is to avoid that tunnel vision, to look for A-quality setups, take really good entries, but of course, be mindful every single day of what's the condition of the small cap market. Now, I trade small caps. For Mike, it's large caps, but he has the ebbs and flows just the same. There are weeks that go by where you don't see good follow through in the large caps, and you just have to be a little bit more conservative. So anyways, that's my setting my intention for the month of May. Looking the calendar, starting a new month here tomorrow, and hopefully we get it off to a good start, start to make some money, and build that cushion on the month. So we'll be back here first thing tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., 9:15 for pre-market analysis. We'll see if we can find a couple of stocks to trade, and I know many of you guys are working on your game plans also, and my job is to be your first base coach, encouraging you to trade smart and stay focused. All right, so I'll see you all back here first thing tomorrow morning. All right, see you guys in the morning.